evening, basketball fans, and welcome to the Red Zone, the main gymnasium here at Hicksville High School. And on a Thursday night, a rainy Thursday. Man, we've got some weather advisories out there. So if you're making your way towards the Hicksville High School complex to either catch the junior varsity or the varsity action here tonight, have a care while you're out on the roadways. It's the Paulding Lady Panthers in town to take on the Lady Aces in junior varsity and varsity basketball action here tonight in the Green Meadows Conference as we get ready to head into the weekend here in Northwest Ohio. Hi, everybody. I'm Bill Murphy with Hicksville Community Television, alongside Chris Warner operating the camera and overseeing the OBS software. He's got the headset microphone on right now. Jim Seiler, not here yet. We're not sure if he's going to show up, if he's running late, whatever the case may be. But we're going to get things started, and I'll be bringing you the action. And if Jim shows up, we'll just sort of slide him right into the broadcast booth with us, and we'll get things going. First up, junior varsity action tonight, the Lady Panthers and the Lady Aces. And probably the first thing you'll notice, Chris can swing the camera over, there are only 5 players warming up for the Lady Panthers tonight. They've had a couple that are not able to play this evening. And because of that, we're only going to do 2 quarters of the junior varsity game. And I'm trying to see who I need to cross off my list here.
What number are you looking
Number
for?
22, I believe, is the other one that's missing.
I do not see a number 22.
Yeah. So, all right, we'll cross those off so we can do the rosters. And we'll give you those 5 players right here to get things started. The 5 on the floor for the Lady Panthers are number 5, that's Addison Shaw. Number 12 is Michaela Carr. Number 21, Lucy Breyer. Number 24 is Ava Martinez. And number 30 is Trinity Salazar. For the Lady Aces, they've got a full squad, but again, because of Paulding's short personnel, they're only going to play 2 quarters here tonight. Running down the Aces roster, number 1 is Addison Adams. Number 2, McKenna Rice. Number 3 is Evie McAlexander. Number 5, Addie Sanders. Number 10 is Emily Williams. Number 11, Brooklyn Wright. Number 13 is Emily Houston. Number 15, Ashlyn Story. And number 22 is Lily Porter. In case you haven't guessed, I didn't have enough time to run down. I didn't know Jim wasn't going to be here to start this game, so I had to run down. I didn't have time to run down and get the starting lineups from the scorer's table. That's okay. We're about a minute away from tipping things off in the junior varsity game. We're going to have the mini Aces. They'll be playing on the floor between the junior varsity and the varsity game. That's supposed to be about 5 minutes or so, and then about a 15-minute warm-up for the varsity girls to get ready for the varsity game, which will start earlier. Again, they only going to play one half, 2 quarters for the junior varsity game. And then at halftime of the varsity game, they'll have the older mini kids out playing at halftime. So we'll be able to bring you some of that action as well here on our live stream here on Hicksville Community Television. And we will be ending this live stream and restarting a second live stream for the varsity matchup coming up a little bit later. And again, that's going to start a little bit earlier than usual. All of our underwriters are with us regardless, and we'll be thanking them throughout the course of this evening. That's the Jim Schmidt family of automotive dealerships in Hicksville, Ohio. Jim Schmidt Chevrolet Buick, Jim Schmidt Ford, online at jimschmidtauto.com. APT Manufacturing Solutions of Hicksville, Ohio, online at aptmfg.com/careers. The Hicksville Pharmacy, your good neighbor pharmacy, right in the heart of downtown Hicksville, Ohio. And ARC Solutions Incorporated of Hicksville, Ohio, and online at www.arcsolinc.com. They're all our diamond level underwriting supporters, and our gold level underwriting supporters, Subway of Hicksville, proud sponsors of the Subway Player of the Game Award, we'll be giving out at the end of the varsity coverage later tonight. So Chris and I are settled in, and we're getting ready to jump center circle. It's going to be Breyer against Story, and it goes out of bounds. So that'll be Ace's ball, and Story will get it in to Rice. Bounce pass it back to Story. Story wearing the face guard here tonight. Down low, shot up, off the glass, and no good. Rebound loose on the floor. Scooped up by the Paulding JV. They'll come down the other end of the floor. That's Shaw out on top of the key. Shaw working around Sanders. Ball off the hands of Carr and taken away by Rice. McKenna, bounce pass, up and good for Addie Sanders. It's an early 2-0 lead for the Lady Aces with 5:15 to go in quarter number 1. Long pass picked off by Porter. She'll bounce pass it to Story. Story to Rice. Rice gets it under control. Launches it down low, and it's going to be picked off by Shaw. Shaw across the timeline. She'll hold up and let everybody else catch up to her. Shaw working around the wing, into the paint, puts up the runner. No good. And rebound comes down to the Lady Aces. That was McAlexander grabbing the board. Gets it to Rice. Rice to McAlexander down in the corner. McAlexander to Story, top of the key. And the other corner, back to Rice. Rice, pull-up jumper off the side of the iron, and no good. She slaps it back in bounds, but it goes right into the hands of Martinez for the Panthers. And here comes Paulding. Shaw with the ball off the Martinez pass. Shaw looking for some help, and that's picked off by Rice. McKenna Rice goes the distance, lays it up and in. 2 points for Rice, and it's a 4-0 lead now for the Lady Aces. As I see the upper deck pep band getting set up and ready to entertain us in the varsity contest tonight. That ball stripped away from Carr by Rice. Rice into McAlexander, and she's going to be fouled taking the shot. Evie McAlexander's going to go to the line to shoot 2. That's going to be on Breyer, number 21 red for Paulding, her first, and team foul number 1. Evie McAlexander at the line, shooting 2. Misses the first one off the back of the iron. She'll have one more. And gets that one. 5 points now for the Aces. Over to Carr. Carr in a triple team gets it out to Shaw. Shaw down the floor. Bounce pass back to Carr, who puts it up. Good. That's a 3. Michaela Carr with the 3 ball to make it a 5-3 game and put Paulding right back into the mix. Feed down low to McAlexander is knocked away from her. Back into the hands of Addison Shaw. Shaw up the floor. Kicks it back out to Salazar. Salazar, they're going to move it around now. Carr with the ball. Carr back down to Shaw. Shaw in the corner puts it up off of the hoop. No good. Rebound comes down. Grabbed by Brooklyn Wright, and she'll get it over to Story. Story to Rice. Rice puts it up. No good. Ball loose on the floor. Wright picks it up. Wright looking for the shot. She's going to be blocked by Breyer. And the ball winds up in Shaw's hands. And here come the Lady Panthers. 2:50 to go. Carr back to Shaw. Shaw drives baseline, and she's going to be fouled. I think that's going to be on Brooklyn Wright. Yep. Wright picks up her first personal. That's team foul number 1, and that's going to put Addison Shaw at the line to shoot 2. With the clock stopped, 2:40 to go in this opening quarter of the short JV game. And she rattles it home. First point of the night for Addison Shaw and makes it a 5-4 game. She's got one more coming, a chance to tie it up. And she gets it. So the Aces now tied at 5 with the Panthers, have the ball. Rice. They'll move it down into the corner right cross court to McAlexander, back to Rice. Now to Story. Story shoots. Off center and no good. McAlexander grabs the board, tosses it over to Sanders. Sanders back to Rice. Rice tried to go behind Story's back and get it down to Brooklyn Wright, but it goes out of bounds. And that'll be a turnover back to the Lady Panthers. Carr with the ball, and that's going to be off the hands of Shaw and out of bounds. That one just about landed in Evie McAlexander's lap on the side court there. On the bench, Brooklyn Wright will come out and have a seat. Porter back into the game for the Aces. Lily's got the ball right now. She'll turn around. Porter kicks it back out to Sturry. Down low to McAlexander. Nothing there. And they'll reset again. Now Rice with the ball driving. She'll take the jump shot. Doesn't get the bounce. It'll go out of bounds. Last touched by the Aces. And we're going to have our first time out of this shortened junior varsity game. Comes at 1:48 to go in the quarter. Called by the Paulding Panthers as we are tied at 5. And they will have the ball when we come out of this timeout. We'll say a big thank you to one of our Diamond Level underwriting supporters making our coverage possible this evening. That's ARC Solutions Incorporated of Hicksville, Ohio. A world-class facility located in Hicksville's Industrial Park. You can find out about the many solutions they have for business and industry. Check them out online, www.arcsolinc.com. ARC Solutions Incorporated of Hicksville, Ohio. We want to thank them so very much. As also, we want to say a big thank you to the Hicksville Pharmacy. They're your good neighbor pharmacy located right in the heart of downtown Hicksville, Ohio. Full-service pharmacy for you and your family's pharmaceutical needs, medical supplies, equipment, over-the-counter medications, and more. If you're interested in information on a COVID booster or flu shot, give them a call, 419-542-6218. That's the Hicksville Pharmacy. Again, they're your good neighbor pharmacy, located right in the heart of downtown Hicksville, Ohio. Back in action. Shaw guarded closely by Sanders, looking for some help. And it's picked off by Rice before they can get it across the timeline. Rice now to Sturry. Sturry feeding it down low, and it's another turnover back into the hands of Carr. She'll get it to Shaw, and she'll quickly come up the floor. Shaw stops, drops it off, and they'll work it around the perimeter. Shaw thinking about the three. She puts it up. No good, and McAlexander grabs the rebound with 1:15. Rice to McAlexander and right back to McKenna Rice. Now inside to Sturry. Sturry needs to get it out of there. Gets it to Porter. Man, I think they got the 3-second call. So that'll turn it back over to the Panthers with a minute to go. And again, Shaw having some problem with the Aces' pressure. And that's going to be a whistle and a push off on Lily Porter. That'll be her first personal and team foul number 2 for the Aces. 56.2 seconds left in quarter number 1. Long pass. Porter winds up with it. Gets it to Rice. Rice drive into the bucket, puts it up. She'll be fouled. Clock stops with 44.6 seconds. And McKenna Rice goes to the line to shoot a couple with the score tied at 5 each. Rice gets it. 3 points now for McKenna. She's got one more. Chris just bumped the camera. That's why there's no minor earthquake. And second one, no good for Rice. See, you threw her off her game. Back the other way come the Lady Panthers, down by 1, 6-5. Shaw working against Rice, kicks it out to Carr. Carr looking things over. Carr's going to drive in, kick it back out. And that's going to go out of bounds, and it should be Ace's ball. Trinity Salazar trying to get a handle on it, and she couldn't quite get it under control before it hit that red paint. Rice down into the corner. And a double dribble from Emily Williams into the game. Lady Aces varsity squad making their way back towards the locker room now, getting ready for game number 2. Story takes the shot, and it's good. It's a long 2 for Ashlyn Story to make it an 8-5 game. Steal and put back up, no good, and that'll be the end of the first quarter. So we've played the first 6 minutes of tonight's shortened junior varsity game, and after one, it's the Aces leading the Lady Panthers 8-5. Getting ready for the second quarter, we want to say a thank you to a couple more of our Diamond Level underwriting supporters. They include APT Manufacturing Solutions of Hicksville, Ohio, located in Hicksville's Industrial Park. They are looking to add to their workforce. You can log on to www.aptmfg.com/careers for a full listing of all the opportunities that they have available. You can also fill out an application, upload your resume. They'd love to hear from you, and maybe you can become a part of the APT Manufacturing family. I want to thank them so very much, along with the Jim Schmidt family of automotive dealerships in Hicksville, Ohio. Jim Schmidt Chevrolet Buick, Jim Schmidt Ford, and online at jimschmidtauto.com. Hey, remember, if you're in the market for a vehicle, it's all about service before, during, and after the sale at the Jim Schmidt family of automotive dealerships in Hicksville, Ohio, and online at jimschmidtauto.com. I want to thank both of them for their Diamond Level underwriting support of all of our Aces sports broadcasts here on Hicksville Community Television. And we'll get ready for second quarter action in this junior varsity game here tonight. 6 minutes on the scoreboard. Aces up 8-5. And there's a consultation going on at the scorer's table right now. I think they've got that resolved, and we'll see who gets the ball to start the second quarter. I believe it's going to be the Lady Panthers. So Carr gets the ball into Shaw, and we're underway in quarter number 2. Back to Carr. Carr drives into the paint. Kicks it back out, shot up, and no good. Rebound. That shot was made, by the way, by Martinez. Rebound comes down to the Lady Aces. Rice with the ball right now. Bounce passes it into Porter. Porter starts to drive in, backs it back out. Porter in a double team. And we're going to have a whistle and a timeout called by the Aces bench. Eight to 5, quick 30-second timeout. As again, only 2 quarters of junior varsity action tonight. So when this one wraps up, we'll have a brief post-game show. And while that's going on, I think, again, some of the mini Aces are going to be out on the floor. So you'll be able to see a little bit of their action here tonight, and we'll talk more about them, too, especially at halftime. They're going to be not only between games, but also halftime of the varsity match. And, of course, we will wrap up this live stream for a bit and give ourselves a little bit of a break. And Christopher and I will be back with our second live stream of the night. The varsity game will be a full game. It's just going to get started a little bit early. So we'll be able to wrap up a little bit early, hopefully, on this rainy night and head back to the studio. And I don't know. Maybe figure out something to keep Chris busy. I think the carpet needs a deep cleaning. And it doesn't. If anybody from the custodial staff heard me say that, I was only teasing Christopher. Our room is immaculate. The custodial people do a beyond good job here. So I think it was actually maybe a full timeout. I thought they only put up 30 seconds. Either that or it's taken an awful long time.
I thought so as well.
Yeah. Oh, well. Yeah. See Frau Geiger here tonight. She's a busy lady, starting work on coronation coming up in March. All right, ready to get back into action. Aces with the ball out of bounds. Story, quick inbounds to Brooklyn Wright, puts it up, no good. Rebound on the other side of the hoop, snatched up by Salazar. Salazar gets the ball over to Shaw. She brings it across half court. Shaw hands it off to Carr. Carr then over to Salazar. Salazar for 3, a little bit short, no good. Porter grabs the rebound for the Lady Aces. Lily bounce passes it to Rice. Rice quickly down to Sanders and back to Rice. Rice thought about it, changed her mind. Now Sanders out in three-point land. Drives towards and then kicks it back out again. Now Rice goes in. Her layup no good. Ball knocked out of bounds. And it's going to stay with the Aces. Evie McAlexander comes back into the game, and Rice will come out for a breather. Inbounds to McAlexander, and she gets it to Sanders on the wing. Sanders kicks it back out down into the corner to Sturry. Sturry tries to feed it inside to Porter. It's slapped right back to Sturry. So the Aces maintain possession. That time, though, it's almost taken away. It's going to be a jump ball between the Panthers, number 21, Lucy Breyer, and Story, and the possession arrow favors Paulding. So the girls in the maroon with the white numerals and trim get the ball back. Carr over to Martinez, or excuse me, that's to Breyer. And back to Shaw, puts it up, no good. Grabs it on the baseline, gets it to Salazar. Breyer back to Shaw. Shaw puts it up again, that's also short. And that time, McAlexander comes up with the ball to Porter, and then quickly back to Rice. Rice up the floor, and bounce pass, nobody was there. It goes out of bounds, and it'll be back to the Lady Panthers. Paulding gets the ball inbounds. Over to Breyer. Breyer's bounce pass to Shaw. Back to Breyer. And to Carr. Now to Martinez. Her shot's good. Ava Martinez with the long two to make it an 8-7 game. It's back to a 1-point contest with 3:42 to go. Aces working it around the perimeter. McAlexander almost loses it. Then she does. It's going to be a jump ball, and that should go to the Aces. Ashlyn Sturry will head across court to do the inbounds. 3:32 to go in the game. Aces up by 1, 8-7. Inbounds to Rice. Rice looking over the defense. Launches it down low. Shot up off glass. No good. Breyer grabs the rebound. Battles with Porter a little bit. Gets the ball to Carr, who gets it to Shaw. Shaw now driving in. Kicks it back out. Again, Martinez is short. Brooklyn Wright with the board. Wright to Sturry. Sturry takes it across half court. Sturry to Rice. Rice down to McAlexander. Lady Aces looking to run their offense. Lily Porter on the three-point arc. All alone, Rice underneath. Oh, and it's in and out. Thought for sure she was going to get the roll, but it bounced back out. Remains 8-7. Shaw rockets it down to Martinez. Puts it up off glass and good, and that's a three. Martinez, 5 points for her now, and the Lady Panthers lead by 2, 10-8. Porter inside. Battles in to McAlexander. She puts up the shot, no good. Sturry runs down the rebound. Sturry tries to get it across court. Knocked out of bounds by Michaela Carr. So the Aces will reset, and Sturry will get ready to inbounds once again. Brooklyn Wright will come out of the game, back in. Number 5, Sanders. Sturry shot, good. And we're tied at 10. Shaw to Carr. Carr in a double team, back to Shaw. Still need to get it across the timeline, and they do. Shaw almost loses the dribble, puts it up, no good. Porter grabs the rebound, gets it to Sanders. Sanders gets the dribble under control. To Sturry now with a minute 44, or 47, excuse me. Rice. Bounce pass to Sturry. Sturry to Sanders. Sanders tries to drive it in. She's double teamed. Back to Rice. Rice looks baseline. Nothing there. Gets it to Sturry now. Sturry from the free throw line hits it. 6 points now for Ashlyn Sturry, and the Aces up 12-10. Minute 15 left in the game. Breyer. And it's stolen by Sturry. Sturry takes it in and draws the foul. Lucy Breyer's going to pick up her second personal. That'll be Excuse me, that's her third. That's her second personal. That'll be team foul number 3 on the Panthers. And Ashlyn Story at the line to shoot 2. First one doesn't get the bounce. She'll have one more. And she misses them both. Breyer, and it's going to be a tie up between Breyer and Lily Porter. And that's going to be Paulding's ball on the possession arrow with 1:07 left to go. Here come the Lady Panthers. They're down by 2. Pressure from the Aces. Breyer launches it off the hands of Shull, and it's picked up on the sideline. That's Salazar grabbed it, and we're going to have a timeout called off the Aces or off the Panthers bench. Full 1 minute timeout. Time for us to say a big thank you to our gold level underwriting supporter, Subway of Hicksville. Subway of Hicksville, where they say go Lady Aces, Al and the gang. And they advise you, or they ask you, download the app to your mobile device. Take advantage of great in-app specials, mobile ordering. You can have your food ready for you when you get there, curbside pickup, and more. Subway of Hicksville, a great place to eat fresh and refresh. Proud sponsors of the Subway Player of the Game Award that we give out at the end of each boys and girls Aces varsity basketball broadcast we cover here on Hicksville Community Television, which means we're going to be giving another one out a little later tonight. Want to thank them so very much. Their gold level sponsorship of all of our basketball coverage on HIX-TV, our good friends Al and the whole gang at Subway of Hicksville, Ohio, a great place to stop before or after the game or any time. Back out onto the floor. It should be Paulding's ball. Midcourt. Out of bounds. Down by 2. Shull inbounds it to Carr. Carr looking for some help, and it bounces off of her foot and out of bounds. So, they're going to say it was help. I thought she bounced it off her, but evidently one of the Lady Aces knocked it out of bounds. Shull tries to get it inbounds. It's stolen away by McAlexander into Story's hands. Story across midcourt with 40 seconds. Rice back to Story. And back to Rice. Rice launches it down into the corner to McAlexander. And Story comes up with the ball then. And back to Rice now with 25. Story gets the ball back. Carr coming out now to Rice. Rice with 13. Lady Aces looking to just kill the clock here. Come away with a 2-point win. Michaela Carr working on Story. Story back to Rice, and Rice will bounce it a couple times, and that'll be the game. The Hicksville Junior Varsity winners in this short 2-quarter game here tonight. Final score, it's the Aces 12 and the Lady Panthers 10. Well, it won't take long to run down the scoring here. Give me just a second. And I will do exactly that. And as you can probably tell, the mini Aces are getting ready to take it to the floor here tonight. Hiya. So anyhow, running down the final scoring. And that will be for the, all right, these are the mini Aces coach Haggerty, Dr. Haggerty. And this is a dribbling contest that they're doing, a dribbling show here. So Christopher can follow that while I pass along the unofficial scoring for the junior varsity game. For the Paulding Junior Varsity, they were led in scoring by number 24, Ava Martinez. Ava had a 3 and a 2 to finish up with 5 points tonight. Aside from that, Michaela Carr with a three-pointer for 3. And Addison Shaw had 2 free throws for 2 points to make up the Panthers' 10. For the Hicksville Junior Varsity, a little sweet Georgia Brown in the background. Again, we have no control over the music being played in the background between games or at halftime. We do not profit from it in any way, and we recognize and appreciate the talents of the composers and performers making the music possible. So, for the Aces on the winning side, leading scorer for them was number 15, Ashlyn Sturry. Ashlyn had 3 buckets for 6 points in the 2 quarters played. After that, it was McKenna Rice with a bucket and a free throw for 3. Addie Sanders had a bucket for 2, and Evie McAlexander with a free throw and 1 point tonight, and that adds up to 12. So that's the final score. When all is said and done, it's again a 12-10 victory in a shortened 2-quarter game for the Lady Aces Junior Varsity here tonight. As we get ready to wrap things up, we want to say another big thank you to all of our underwriters making our coverage possible here tonight. They include all 4 of our diamond level underwriting supporters. The Jim Schmidt family of automotive dealerships in Hicksville, Ohio. Jim Schmidt Chevrolet Buick, Jim Schmidt Ford, and online at jimschmidtauto.com. Thanks also to APT Manufacturing Solutions of Hicksville, located in Hicksville's Industrial Park. Also online at www.aptmfg.com/careers. Thanks to the Hicksville Pharmacy. They're your good neighbor pharmacy in downtown Hicksville, Ohio. If you'd like information on COVID boosters, flu shots, or more, feel free to give them a call. They'd love to hear from you. 419-542-6218. And, of course, ARC Solutions Incorporated of Hicksville, Ohio on Industrial Drive, and also online at www.arcsolinc.com. And, of course, our gold level underwriting supporter, underwriting all of our basketball coverage, Subway of Hicksville, where Al and the gang say, "Go Lady Aces," proud sponsors of the Subway Player of the Game Award. Well, that's going to wrap things up for right now. And again, we have the mini Aces on the floor. We're seeing a little bit of them right now, and they'll be also joining us during halftime of the varsity game coming up, which will be getting started in looks like about 15 minutes or so from right now. So again, we want to say a big thank you not only to all of our underwriters, but thanks also to the Hicksville Athletic Department for giving us the space and allowing us to be here, providing the live stream coverage tonight. Thanks also to John Haggerty, Doc Haggerty out there. He is the driving force behind the mini Aces that you see out there right now. That's the after-school program. It starts in November and goes through the school year. It's for kids in grades 2 through 6. And I think we got the second and third graders out here right now. And I think we're going to have the older kids out during halftime of the varsity game. So hats off to all of them. Those kids are out there having a great time showing off their dribbling skills here at the Red Zone tonight. And we also want to say a big thank you to all of you for joining us. Hope you enjoyed the coverage this evening. And again, if you haven't already done so, please consider subscribing to our YouTube channel. We'd love to have you as a subscriber. You can subscribe. You can click the bell for notifications. You find out first whenever we schedule a live stream and post new programming to our video on demand library. And you can hit the like button and so forth and help us improve our metrics on the search engines and all that sort of stuff. We really appreciate everybody that's subscribed so far. And again, if you haven't already done so, please consider doing it. We would love to have it. Our goal is to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of basketball season. And now we're starting to get kind of close. So who knows? And maybe you could be the one that puts us over the top. Anyhow, with that, we are going to wrap it up for right now. But stay tuned. We will be back probably in about 15 minutes or so from right now with our second live stream of the evening. And that, of course, is going to be the varsity contest between the Lady Panthers and the Lady Aces from here at the Red Zone. And until we talk to you then, for Chris Warner running the camera and operating the OBS software, overseeing our live stream, I'm Bill Murphy with Hicksville Community Television, wishing all of you a very good night and good sports.